compared to being obliterated by this government shutdown. But it looks like they're going to avert it, so let's get right to our top story.
The big lead. Top story.
Yeah, did you hear how close we came to being just absolutely destroyed? Our planet?
Paralyzed, not able to do anything?
Oh, no. Physically, literally destroyed.
Oh.
Yeah, I was watching CNN this weekend, and they were talking about some of the things that were shut down because of the government thing.
Did it heavily impact your life?
It had no impact on my life. Unless this impact had impacted. Because I found out that there was an asteroid that could have collided with the Earth if the government shutdown hadn't been averted.
And in space that same year, for more than 2 weeks, NASA reportedly stopped monitoring potentially dangerous asteroids. A big one, by the way, is expected to brush by Earth on February 4th.
Oh, man. So their whole point was if the shutdown continues and they aren't monitoring this asteroid that's going to come within a couple 100,000 miles of Earth on February 4th, then maybe we all would be killed.
Oh, no.
I know. It would have been awful. Because I got a lot of stuff on my to-do list still.
I have not prepped for what to do if an asteroid is headed our way.
I know. So anyway, I want to thank the folks at CNN because I'm hoping that the members of Congress were listening and they realized that we were all about to be literally destroyed if they hadn't. Now, I was tweeting throughout the weekend. I was doing my government shutdown updates every few hours, 25 hours, 30 hours, and the impact on my life, it remained zero. But that was before I realized that an asteroid is coming dangerously close to the planet on February 4th. So anyway, I want to thank all the cool heads that have prevailed in Congress and in Washington, D.C. to save us all from literal obliteration. Now that it looks like they're going to open up government and then talk about illegals in a few weeks. And I told you last week what this is all about, that the Democrats were fighting for illegals, about 800,000 who are here under the DACA program. And they are here illegally, but the Obama administration kept granting them extension after extension. And now the Trump administration has said, no, we're going to start enforcing our federal immigration laws. And if people are here illegally, then they are subject. And we may move a little more aggressively to deport them. Now, we still legally have a robust immigration system. We admit more immigrants than any country on earth. And what President Trump has said is, first of all, we got to get rid of this chain immigration where a family member gets in via a lottery and then they can just bring all their family members into the country too. What's intriguing about all of this is it wasn't that long ago that Democrats realized the exact same thing. I've played for you this soundbite. I played it a couple of times last week. Chuck Schumer, just 4 years ago, when Barack Obama was president, and Barack Obama deported more people than any president in the history of the United States of America. But the networks didn't make a huge deal out of it. Certainly the Democrats didn't make a huge deal. In fact, Chuck Schumer said, we Democrats would never shut down government over illegals in this country.
We want to negotiate without a gun to our head. Speaker Boehner comes in and he says basically, it's sort of like this. Someone goes into your house, takes your wife and children hostage, and then says, let's negotiate over the price of your house. You know, we could do the same thing on immigration. We believe strongly in immigration reform. We could say we're shutting down the government. We're not going to raise the debt ceiling until you pass immigration reform. It would be governmental chaos.
Okay, so that alone proves what a stinking hypocrite Chuck Schumer is. 4 years ago, when Obama was president and when the Republicans were shutting down government over Obamacare, he said, we Democrats would never do that over, let's say, immigration. And then, of course, they did do that over immigration. But let's go back even more. Let's go back to 1990 when Chuck Schumer said, yeah, we would welcome people into this country, but they have to bring skills with them.
For the first time, we're saying it should not simply be family relationships that determine who comes here. This bill says that if you have a skill that America needs, we're going to accept you.
Okay, if you have a skill that America needs. And that's, of course, what President Trump is proposing now. But it shows that Chuck Schumer, President Trump is proposing what was mainstream Democratic ideology a few years ago. But now they don't care if there are language skills. They don't care if there are job skills. What the president has proposed is very similar to what Canada does. If you come into the country and you don't have a college degree and you don't have prospects for a job and you don't have language skills, which is going to make it almost impossible for you economically, well then you're unlikely to be admitted as an immigrant into Canada. Now, it's even more critical in 2018 that we uphold what used to be traditional democratic standards. You have to have job skills. You have to speak the language. And I will tell you why. I was reading a fascinating piece this morning about, our parents, and grandparents who came here as immigrants. It's true. A lot of us, within a few generations, have immigrants in our family, myself included. The huge difference was we were very much an industrial economy. And the majority of jobs that the immigrants were getting back in the early 1900s were blue-collar jobs that didn't require language skills. They were working in factories and on the new concept of assembly lines, and the immigrants could do that job every bit as well, even if they didn't have the language skills or the education. Fast forward to 2018. What's the other big story today that CBS did? It's a local story. Amazon just opened the Amazon Go store. No cashiers. This is significant because cashiers is the number 2 job in America. But it is so clear that our economy is changing rapidly. It is evolving. And if you have unskilled job potential, it's going to be much tougher for you to get a gig. And Amazon says, cashiers may go out of business, but we're creating a lot of other jobs in our warehouses. But of course, they are working feverishly to try to automate those jobs and robotize those jobs as much as possible as well. It's just not as easy to come to America in 2018 and find a decent paying, blue collar, manufacturing or warehouse or assembly line job. And again, Chuck Schumer knew that back in 1990, that you had to have some skills. Well, here was the big slap in the face for the Democrats over the weekend. They saw what the American people were saying. And the American people, really? You're going to shut down the U.S. government so you can defend 800,000 people who are in this country illegally? And they discovered, wow, the will of the people is just not there for that. And so 81 senators, including 33 Democrats, have voted just in the last hour or so on this plan to reopen the government. But again, what they are talking about today is what's radical, and allowing people into this country who don't have language skills, don't have job skills, don't have a college education. And then people see the cost of this, not just in welfare and social services, but in our schools. 50, 60 years ago, they didn't teach in 40, 50 different languages in the schools because they understood the cost of that is going to be absolutely enormous. And so now today, we do. We have to accommodate, have interpreters, be able to teach in some schools literally 40, 50, 60 languages. And the American people are saying, wait a second, the cost of this is at the expense of our kids who are born here, legal citizens, and no, we don't see why the Democrats wanted to shut down government over 800,000 illegals. And so things have moved rapidly just in the last couple of hours here. And it looks like they are going to, the House has to vote still, but it looks like you're going to get government reopened. And now we'll see if the Democrats are going to try to still be hard line on the 800,000 illegals. Because what they want is a path to amnesty so they can get 800,000 people, almost all of whom would vote Democrat. And that's the whole point of this. And then if we get a pathway to citizenship and amnesty for the 8 to 18 million other illegals in the country, they would all vote Democrat. They would flip all the purple states red, and that's the strategy for the Democrats behind all of this. But it used to be, what's best for the country? That's what Chuck Schumer was about in 2013. That's what he was about back in 1990. And listen one more time.
For the first time, we're saying it should not simply be family relationships that determine who comes here. This bill says that if you have a skill that America needs, we're going to accept you.
So in other words, exactly what Donald Trump is proposing 28 years after Chuck Schumer said those words. So everyone who's portraying this as some kind of radicalization to say, no, we'd like to have a point system and bring people into this country if they can contribute to this country. That used to be mainstream Democratic ideology. It is no more. The other thing, man, over the weekend, sensing that the American people were not behind the Democrats on this, Trump's re-election 2020 campaign, they ran a brutal campaign ad about the wall and about illegals.
That's illegal immigrant Luis Bracamontes, charged with murdering 2 police officers. It's pure evil. President Trump is right. Build the wall. Deport criminals. Stop illegal immigration now. Democrats who stand in our way will be complicit in every murder committed by illegal immigrants. President Trump will fix our border and keep our families safe.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Wow, so they really think they are on the winning side in the court of public opinion on this issue, that they ran that ad this weekend. All right, so we'll keep you posted. They are going to have more votes throughout the afternoon, and as of now, the shutdown continues, but it's about to come to an end. All right, next up in the big lead.
The big lead. Top trending.
Okay, this is such a big deal, trending-wise, that CBS covered the story at the top of the hour. Amazon Go, the revolutionary grocery store that has no cashier. So you just swipe your phone, your smartphone, you download the app, it knows you're in the store, and then they have a series of cameras and sensors, and they just read when you take something off the shelf and put it in your bag, and then when you're done, you just walk out of the store, no human interaction necessary. Your account is automatically debited, and you pay without any cashiers. Now, this is the first of what is going to be a growing trend throughout retail. And as I said, cashiering is the #2 employment job in America. And those jobs are going to disappear in the next 10 to 20 years. So more than ever, if you don't have some skills, and it doesn't have to be a college education, I'm not going to just push that. There's still trades, electricians, plumbers, carpenters. There are trades that pay well and that allow people to be able to take care of themselves with a good, solid middle or upper middle class wage. That's still available. Doesn't have to be college education, but you have to have skills if you're going to survive in this economy. And for cashiers, they are traditionally people who have high school education or less. There's certainly higher educated people who have that job, but it's a job that has paid decent, okay, enough to get by, even if you didn't have a college degree. Well, those jobs are going to go away. Amazon Go open to the public. They've been beta testing with Amazon employees for the last several months. Our news partners at Cairo 7 News, they talked to this customer who was waiting in line but said, hey, look, if this eliminates lines down the road,
this actually could alleviate that, which would be fantastic. It will be kind of a bummer to have less human interaction, although it seems like maybe there's still a place where you can get a sandwich made or something, so you're still interacting with some people.
So far, obviously, I've been able to see from the outside, but yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty cool to have in the area. I think it's a cool idea.
Those all people who were waiting to get in right before it opened, and then Q13 News talked with one of the first customers as they were exiting the store.
I think it was really smooth walking in, and it also still kept the feel of a normal grocery store, right? Like I didn't feel like there weren't any, like when you're picking things up, it felt normal. It wasn't like it was in box of with chips or something on it. It was very smooth experience.
And so this is the first of its kind. Imagine how that's going to evolve over the next 5 to 10 years. But it does mean that cashiers are going to disappear from our economy. It means that people are going to have to look for other types of jobs to support themselves if they don't, have some kind of tech degree. But the blue-collar jobs are evolving rapidly. And those are the jobs that the immigrants to our country were taking. And now what's left? We can be a motel worker, but that doesn't pay anything. Still, if you are, although there's been so many advances in farming automation, and people who used to do the menial labor in the fields, a lot of those jobs are disappearing because of advanced technology. And this is why it's important to say, look, you got to bring skills if you come into this country. So I believe the president's on the right track to move towards a Canada-type immigration system where you are evaluated on what you can contribute to this country rather than what you can take out of America. All right, there you have it. That is your big lead this hour.
The Big Lead on Cairo Radio.
Oh, man. What a crazy day I had yesterday. Had all my pre- and post-game hosts over to watch the AFC and NFC games. Then madness ensued. We'll talk about it. Brock Eward's going to join us. The Monday Monster quarterback. Also a Super Bowl preview. Straight ahead on the Dory Monson Show.
This hour of the Dory Monson Show.
France, where hiring managers have said flat out, I will not hire you. I will not have you transferred into my organization. If you have bad ideas about religion, turns out I can think you're a moron and never hire you. Just think of this. This comes from the Melissa cliques. It comes from the college campuses. This is why I've been talking about the college campuses and using the attention-getting phrase, little baby Khmer Rouge. Let's look at another example. William Jacobson is a professor of law, and he runs one of my two favorite websites, Legal Insurrection. Professor Jacobson, we've had him on the show. He tracks campus sex lawsuits. Now, at Google, there was a manager, an executive, who toyed with, in writing, the idea of having tribunals. Like a witch trial. We heard you're a conservative. Come and prove you're not. And she put it in writing. She no doubt comes from a college campus. From the Khmer Rouge culture, such as this. There is yet another case of yet another young man at yet another college, this time Johnston in Wales. It shares every single sort of sign of these witch trials that are coming out of these campuses. This was a man and a woman, young man, young woman. They had at least 6 sexual encounters, 2 of which were questionable to the woman. She did not complain for a year. In these cases, usually women do not. The complaint was instigated by her new boyfriend. Okay, but he was not brought to be cross-examined. He instigated the complaint. He said it was sex abuse, but he was never cross-examined. Because he got to serve as the female's hearing advisor. The guy who brought the complaint got to serve as the advisor. The accused male student was not given a copy of the complaint. He was not told the charges against him until just before the hearing. They handed him a bunch of papers just before the hearing. That means he was not able to build a defense. He was not able to gather facts such as text messages. He was not able to bring in witnesses of his own. He was not able to bring in notes she had written to him, cards she had written to him. He was given a very short notice for this trial. Like, you have 5 days. The appeals process was truncated. He was not allowed to bring an attorney, nor an advisor, nor anyone else. It went from complaint to adjudication in 5 weeks. Now, apparently, he was found guilty of sexual harassment and of sexual abuse because he was kicked out of the school, tossed out, labeled as what? They won't tell him. They will not tell him. They will not give him the adjudication papers. He doesn't know what he was convicted of. The investigating police officer, campus police officer in this case, didn't act with any form of objectivity because that officer is trained not to act with objectivity. That officer wrote officially in the document to this young woman. I tried reaching out to you earlier, but I was unable to leave a voicemail message. I emailed you instead. I do not want to delay this matter any longer, so I'm supplying you with some resources as it has been brought to my attention that you were a victim of sexual assault this past academic year. I want you to know that we're here to support you. Well, she should be supported. It's a scary thing. She shouldn't be believed by a cop or unbelieved. She should be gathering the information. This is the training ground for what you see at Google. If you're white, we're going to openly laugh at you getting a job here. If you're white and male, we're going to make fun of you for getting a job here. If you have a department with too many white men, we're going to target you for elimination. If we think or even guess you might be conservative, we're thinking of putting on tribunals to bring you before the tribunals. That's why this is important. That's why I use the phrase little baby Khmer Rouge. Because one day these kids who have been steeped in this junk, in this leftist junk, they will have armies. They will have people with guns who work for them. That's why I talk about the college campuses. I hope now that we're kind of more on the same page on this. We'll come back on the Todd Herman Show. Emails, social media posts, other forms of communication with the show will be the star of that segment next. Last minute thoughts, last second thoughts. Tweet me at Toddy Herman. Email therman@ktth.com. Your words next. Right now, we'll check traffic with Right Way Traffic.
They cleared that stalled box truck, which is great news. Southbound I-5 is right after the convention center, so the right lane's been reopened. Does have you backed up out towards Lake City Way, though. And a crash in Bellevue, all cleaned up, too. 405 southbound, pretty heavy between Northeast 4th Street out towards 44th. This traffic report is brought to you by Staples. Staples has great prices on everything you need to print. Now get up to $80 off select HPR.
They are the VA loan experts, and Steve Teitler, you will help all of our veterans and active military take advantage of that benefit that they have earned.
Dory, as you know, we love the military, and we love helping them take advantage of the VA loan program because it's such a great deal. You can buy a home with no money down. And if you already own a home, you can do a cash-out refinance up to 100% of your home's value. And you can pay off a second mortgage if you have one, other debts, and wrap it all into one fixed-rate loan.
And I know for our veterans who have an FHA loan, you can help them refinance into a VA, save a lot of money.
That's right. Unfortunately, some banks and mortgage companies don't offer the VA loan, and they've put our veterans into FHA loans, which is a bad deal. Get out of that mortgage insurance premium. Call us, and we'll get you into a VA loan.
Give them a call, 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Hey, Seattle, feel that chill? That's the fear of missing out you feel sitting at home all winter. Luckily for you, Clipper Vacations is here to keep that FOMO at bay with a cozy Victoria getaway. Betty?
Who, me? I don't have FOMO. But tell me about this getaway.
Just jump on the Victoria Clipper. The quick and easy cruise lands you in one of the most romantic cities on Earth.
Sounds great.
It is. You can cozy up for afternoon tea at the Empress Hotel, or bundle up and take in the crisp air and piney aroma of the Bouchard Gardens.
Nice.
Then there's wine tasting, shopping with a great exchange rate.
I don't want to miss out on any of that.
Then join in. Go to clippervacations.com and book now for as low as $118 for round trip and one-night hotel. Guaranteed best rate. And kids are half off, you know.
Sounds like it's time for me to make my friends jealous. Hashtag FOMO NOMO.
Know what else you won't miss out on? The jingle.
Clipper Vacations, you get away.
A lifetime of being really active has taken a toll on my body. Hey, it's Story Monson, and I'm here to tell you drugs and surgery are not your only options for joint pain. Stem cell therapy is revolutionizing the way joint pain is treated, and it allows you to avoid those long recovery times and other risks that are associated with surgery and pain medication. Your own stem cells can stimulate healing by regenerating new healthy cells in your body. And you know my experience. I had to quit playing basketball for a couple of years because of my bone-on-bone right knee. But after having stem cell therapy, I'm back playing with my group of guys every week. Generation Stem Cell is on the leading edge of this fascinating medical technology. If you suffer from knee, shoulder, elbow, hip, or any other degenerative or chronic joint pain condition, you need to learn about stem cell therapy. Generation Stem Cell's hosting some free educational seminars. Register at generationstemcell.com. That's generationstemcell.com.
Amazon Echo users.
Visit the Alexa app to get Cairo Radio flash briefings.
Wherever you use Echo.
Great.
All right, we're on Facebook Live if you want to join us. The Ron and Don Show at Cairo Radio. Ron's here. Ron, what are we talking about today?
What are we talking about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about here?
All right, so when I was a kid, it was popular to say that someone was the Babe Ruth of something if you were trying to say they were exceptional. Don's the Babe Ruth of indoor cycling. Look up Ruthian in the dictionary, and it reads prodigiously accomplished. Then along came Michael Jeffrey Jordan, and popular culture dropped Ruth for Jordan. You would hear someone say, Susan's the Michael Jordan of accounting. When Tiger Woods was dominating golf, people would invoke his name to connote singular excellence. Then Tiger starting having one-night stands with waitresses at Shoney's, and you know the rest of that story. So, you know whose name you don't hear in this way? Tom Brady. I bet there are people that cringed when they heard me say his name. He's the real-life version of Voldemort from the Harry Potter books. Do not say Tom Brady, especially if you're a Seahawk fan or a Falcons fan or a Rams fan. You get the picture. For whatever reason, people outside of New England just love to despise Tom Brady. I hate to break it to you, but the Golden Boy is going back to play in his 8th Super Bowl after the Patriots mounted another come-from-behind victory yesterday over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh, and it turns out that Tom had to have stitches on his throwing thumb last week to add to his legend. So what is it about Tom Brady that people hate so much? He already has the most Super Bowl wins in the history of the NFL at 5, most Super Bowl appearances with 8, including this year. So what's the deal with the almost universal hatred of number 12? Are we all just collectively jealous? Like Taylor Swift said, haters gonna hate? Do people hate him because he's a good-looking guy who married one of the most beautiful supermodels of all time? Isn't that supposed to be the ultimate American stereotype, the good-looking quarterback who gets the girl? I'm confused. Maybe it's because Brady is so obsessive about staying young and sustaining his career. You know, with all the avocado smoothies and his own line of healthy candy and so forth. That logic seems hollow to me as well. Looking young and staying fit are second only to being obese in the good old US of A. Surely it can't be his performance. This one guy has started in 15% of all the Super Bowls that have ever been played. Come on, that's unreal. Now, I'm not trying to convert anyone to Brady worship. I find myself hating him and respecting him at the same time. But from a purely athletic accomplishment point of view, it's hard to not say that he's the Babe Ruth and Michael Jordan of quarterbacks. Remember how dominant the Seahawks were during their back-to-back Super Bowl appearances and how quickly they faded into a middle-of-the-pack team? Just think about the sustained run that the Patriots have been on. It's crazy. It defies everything we assume to know about the sport of professional football. Babe Ruth won 4 World Series rings. He helped the Yankees make it to the World Series 7 times. Michael Jordan won 6 World Championships. He never lost in the finals, famously won 3 in a row, took time off to play minor league baseball, and then came back to win 3 in a row again. Tiger Woods has 14 majors. That puts him second behind Jack Nicklaus. In 2 weeks, Tom Brady will play in his 8th Super Bowl. He's going for ring number 6. Maybe I should try an avocado smoothie.
That's weird. What do you think about this? I thought that was really outstanding. Why do people, though, in baseball still consider Babe Ruth, do you think, to be the greatest of all time? Because the other athletes that you talked about, they entered the arena with other races. Babe Ruth did not. I think he played 19 years in the major leagues, and he played against other white guys. And I think we found out over the years that when it comes to baseball or football or basketball, black and brown people are pretty damn good at it. And we saw that over the week.
It's because he started as a pitcher, and he actually has one of the best records in World Series history as a pitcher with the Boston, I believe it was the Red Sox at the time, might have been the Braves.
The Red Sox.
And then he switched over to be the greatest hitter of all time. So that's probably why. But you make a good point on the fact that it was segregated at the time. But it's hard to, there's a lot of things that Tom Brady does that are annoying, but it's hard to not say at this point that he is the greatest quarterback ever. And this is, I've been a John Elway guy my whole life. I don't even think it's close anymore.
No, it's not.
Like, it's not even close.
I told you last week when he cut his hand, I said he'll even be better. You watch. Best thing that could happen is for Tom Brady to get hurt or to get mad, and also to play from behind. He's incredible when he plays from behind, and we saw that. What is he in playoffs now? 27-9, I think.
I think this is his 11th championship game.
Yeah, right?
He's only been in the league 16 years.
No. Anyway. So you like the Patriots coming up in the Super Bowl then?
I'm going to root for the Eagles.
Oh, you are? Okay.
I just can't root for it. I admire what they've done. I just can't root for them.
It's incredible the Eagles got there. Well, they got there in part because of Carson Wentz, but they continue to win football games, and they don't have him. So, yeah, look how dominant they would be with him, although Nick Foles has been pretty good too, hasn't he? Hey, coming up, we're going to check the cars with Kimmy Klein. Right after that, it's Ron and Don's Top 5 at 5. We'll give you the top 5 news stories of the day, and we invite you to write those down. And someone's going to win some tickets tonight. Let's go see John Mayer. Don't go anywhere. Ron and Don, our radio. Here's Kimmy with the cars. This traffic report this hour is brought to you by our good friends at Queen Casino. Kimmy, go ahead.
Well, the good news is no major crashes on the freeways, but in Tacoma, it looks like I think we have a stalled semi north NI-5 near 56 in the center lane, so a little busy there. South 5's got the usual backup leaving Highway 18 through Fife, and 167's going to be busiest south of Algona into Sumner. Otherwise, both directions of 405, you can expect delays approaching Northeast 30th. South 5 into Seattle, stop and go from 85th, and North NI-5 is still at under a 45-minute drive time getting from Seattle to Everett, which is much better than usual. Kyra Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Kimmy Klein.
Thanks, Kimmy. It's Ron here for American Financing. They are a mortgage company, and if you're a veteran, they would love to help you get into your first house or your second house, or even do a refinance. If you haven't used your VA benefits, interest rates are very low. It's time for you to get in there. And VA loan, there's no mortgage insurance, 0 down payment, and relaxed credit requirements, so you can really get a screaming good deal right now. American Financing has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. On refis, they're saving people $500 to $1,000 a month. That's like getting a $12,000 a year raise. Very, very cool. They can customize a loan just for you, and there's no upfront fees. So